Hello and welcome to another beautiful day in the life, man. Today I want to talk about something really important, probably the most one of the most important things we could talk about, and that's how to feel better, how to create the best you. And we can do this by examining our experience and what it can do, you know. And when I talk about our experience, I mean our interaction with our physical body and our mental capacity and our mental reality, right? So, just a little background on me. Um, I used to suffer with a lot of anxiety, depression. I'm still a work in progress. We all are, right? And so, even doing this video is a way of helping myself get better. But I do know that the things that I'm about to present to you do work. It's medically sound, it's spiritually sound, and it's in my experience to know it works for me and it works for others. In fact, I learned it from others. Um, I used to be very high strung, very anxious. I had a bad temper coming up. It's costed me a lot of suffering in my relationships, a lot of regrets, a lot of things that I'm not proud of. And it could have easily led to things like substance abuse, which in a way it has. And in a way, in my past, I have abused substances at times because of that anxiety, always trying to escape the suffering that I was experiencing. And a lot of this was done unconsciously. I didn't know that I had a problem, even. I was just going through life unconsciously, unaware, kind of asleep to it, mainly focused on the daily anxieties. That's what anxiety does. It focuses you on your inner self and your mind and your problems, and you're ruminating in the situations. And so I developed this huge imagination of what could always go wrong or what was wrong in my life and things of that nature. And I tried a lot of things. I just tried exercising, which helped. I tried going to therapy. I had therapists throughout my life, counselors, people that I had to meet every week to kind of talk through these things. Nothing really helped. I tried just meditating, just trying to, the positive thinking route. I tried to think my way out of anxiety and a lot of these problems. Um, None of that really solved my problem overall. It might have mitigated it some of the time, and I might have thought it was helping at a some, but I would always return back to base level because I was never number one, I was never really consistent with any of it because as soon as it didn't really work, it was easy to give up. Now, certain things I did stick to, like exercising. My therapist, I would go see them once a week, talking through a lot of things. And I tried like the positive thinking route, tried to form all kinds of beliefs. And because it never worked, I always just stayed in this skeptical mind frame. Like, you know, you live, you die, and that's the end of it. So fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, I just lived in confrontation a lot of times, even though I tried to avoid confrontation because I always knew I hated confrontation. I hated it because it was embarrassing. Like sometimes I'm going off and I don't even know really why I'm going off to the extent that I do. And so it was really dumb. A lot of holes in walls, a lot of fights, a lot of dumb crap that I went through. Run ins with the law, broken relationships with people. So I've never really been a perfect person. I've always had troubles, and I always thought that I was the hero in my own mind. I always thought, it's everybody else that's attacking me. I'm the victim. I'm the problem here, right? Until, like I say, I started to really focus in and try something radically different for myself and just really just buckle down and look for real solutions and just be real with myself. And part of that was first of all becoming aware of my issues, just understanding what my issues really are, and then observing also that I didn't like who I was. Not really. I always knew I could improve. I could be better, and I always wonder, why is everybody else living this life that I'm not living? I'm a smart person. I'm smart enough. I'm a skeptical person. I should be able to figure this stuff out, but I couldn't, because I didn't understand that my behavior was being driven by feelings. Even though I was one of the people that denied feelings, I thought, feelings aren't going to give you truth. Feelings aren't going to lead you in the right direction in life. But they were leading me, in the wrong direction, because I wasn't addressing my feelings, knowing feeling the anxiety and embracing the anxiety. Instead, I was trying to hide it, run away from it, you know, and it didn't work for me. So, what I did find out worked, and this has been a number of years, and it's been progressively getting better. I mean, quick. I mean, to the point where I think I've been more at peace with myself in the last 3, 4 years than ever before. My life has changed. I'm making a lot more money, saving a lot more money than ever before, speaking about things I'm proud to speak of, doing things that I could never think that I would allow myself to do and think, and so forth. And so I can relay a little bit of suggestions that work for me, that hopefully will work for you guys. If you're struggling with anxieties, you're struggling with um, not, like, having this feeling of not getting what you want out of life, I've got some advice, because it helped me, and hopefully it'll help you too. So what I've kind of understood and I learned from people, from someone, professionals, is that positive thinking, this whole positive thinking thing is bullshit. It doesn't work. You can't think your way out of anxiety. You can't think your way out of anything. All this sort of the secret kind of stuff for me was just bullshit, right? I mean, there's some elements to it that work. I mean, you got to have a goal, you've got to have visions, you've got to have things you feel compassionate or passionate about, right? But there's more to it than just thinking your way into it. Magical thinking really doesn't work. It's just superstition. There's got to be more to it. You have to have an experience, not just the thought. You have to have a deep, profound experience. And you also have to be aware that your body is here for a reason. So instead of thinking affecting, your moods and affecting your attitude, it's not that. It's your physiology. You have to first address your physiology. That means you have to pay attention to what you're putting in your body, because what you're putting in your body becomes you, right? So my advice, if you want to feel better, have more energy, and have a better positive outlook, number one, stop drinking sodas. Just stop. I don't drink any sodas. I don't drink that stuff. Stop drinking alcohol. At least cut down on it if it's something you really love, but stop it. And if you're really in a position where it's a really critical thing, don't drink at all. Abstain from alcohol and just drink water. Just drink straight water. Put that in your body. Water. That's the first thing. Start drinking water. And also eat lightly. Train your digestive system to eat less. Just eat what you need. Eat salads. Eat, white meat, fish, you know, eat healthy food, vegetables, vitamins. Get a lot of vitamins in your system. That's the first thing. You want to change your physiology. Get out in the sun. Soak up the sun. Breathe air in. Take time out. I mean, you've got, I understand you may work a lot. You may be going through a lot of pressures and stress, but if you really want to change, you've got to commit to yourself to put some time in, man. And I mean, do it in a focused way. Do it in an embrace it. It's not just what you do, it's how you do it. Be passionate when you drink water. That means drink it slow. Eat your food slow. When you go out and you walk, feel the air touch your skin, feel the sun against your skin. Look at the sights, hear the birds, hear the noise, hear the cars going by, hear the wind rustling the bushes. All of that. Take it in. Make it a very profound, special experience as though this is your last day on earth and you want to experience this world for the very last time. Take that attitude every day that you go out and you walk, every day that you sit down to eat. And don't eat so much, man. Just eat light meals throughout the day. No big heavy meals. Take care of your physiology. You don't want to be stuffed and full and all of that. Embrace the hunger a little bit. Don't even eat to be full. Just eat enough. Just eat enough and get yourself to feel better inside that way. That's the first step is your physiology. Address that. And then do exercise, not just walk, but remember your thigh muscles is where you get all your energy. It's a primary energy producer, right? Your thighs and your legs, right? What do they call it? Adenosine triphosphate, ATP. It's the body's primary energy currency, and muscles have ways to quickly replenish it, especially through intense exercise. So ATP production is very important. It's going to circulate oxygen all over your bloodstream, all throughout your body, you know, aerobic and anaerobic energy production, as they say. The body can generate energy aerobically using oxygen and during like really long or prolonged low intensity activities, aerobic metabolism is the primary energy source. So for short bursts of intense activity, anaerobic metabolism can provide a lot of energy, but it needs to, build it up. It needs to lead to a buildup, so warm up and then really burn those muscles, create a lot of lactic acid, you know. Muscle glycogen is a form of stored glucose, and it's like a significant fuel source for exercise, especially during these high intensive activities, right? All of this stuff is in your body. It's right there in your system. Use it. This is your resource for if you want to feel better and be a better person and have a better positive outlook and get out of your anxiety, get out of your depression. This is how you're going to do it, man. you know this energy transfers at your joints, the muscles in your thighs, like they play a really crucial role like in transferring energy at the hip, the knee, the ankle, the joints, and it enables efficient movement like running, like walking up steep hills. Get used to straining your muscles. I know it's going to burn and it's going to hurt and you're going to be sore for the first few days of doing it, but believe me, you're going to thank me for this crap, man. This is going to make you feel so clear headed the next day. You ain't even going to believe it because you've got all this blood circulating through your body. And the oxygen in your blood is just going to clear your brain out. It's going to clear your mind. And that, it's like these, I always look at it like happiness is always there, happiness. And what I mean by happiness is peacefulness. That's probably the best way to put it. That peacefulness that you're looking for is always there. That's the I amness part of consciousness. It's that very baseline fundamental consciousness. It's kind of like you've got the sky and you've got the blue sky. That blue is your I amness. Never changes, can never be affected, can never be hurt. It's kind of like your immortality, right? And the reason we don't always see it, and the reason we're always anxious or we're depressed or we're unhappy or whatever the case may be, is because we have cloud cover. Like these clouds you see all around me in this video. That cloud cover is just covering the blue sky. But the way you dissipate those clouds is through your physiology, eating, correctly, drinking a lot of water, abstaining from alcohol and smoking and smoke and things that are just polluting you. These things you put in your body become you. Think of it that way. You're engineering your body like a machine because that's what it really is. It's a machine. And so you want to put the best in your body to maintain your body and give it a nice core and exercise, work out your leg muscles, especially your thighs. It's going to generate so much blood and oxygen. It's going to clear your mind. And then lastly, as you have a clear mind, it's going to be easier for you to meditate. And what I mean by meditate, I mean stillness. Be still. Every day try to practice being very still. And when you're still, you're welcoming in sensation. And close your eyes. When you breathe in, feel the air, feel the breath, in with the good, out with the bad stuff. Feel the air go through your nostrils, into your lungs, and out. Feel that. Then expand your consciousness to also feel the little itches on your skin. Feel the tingle in your feet or fingers. Hear the sounds around you. Embrace it, take it in. Even if it's pain you're feeling, even if you've got little pains, remember that blue sky is untouchable. It's always there. It's going nowhere. It welcomes all of that. It welcomes all of these experiences within itself. So what you're really doing is you're looking at the stage from which you're going to be acting on. You need to be acquainted with your stage before you go out and perform. You need to be acquainted with your stage. That means go to your stage, look at it, observe it, walk around it, check it out, and see how it feels when everything is happening on that stage. Feel the breath, feel the sensation of your body, and just feel how expansive your baseline awareness is. There's no limit to it. You can't even define a limit if you tried. Your thoughts are fleeting, they come and go. You're going to notice that when you meditate. You're going to notice your little chatter mind is going to keep on chattering like an angry monkey. Let it chatter, let it do its thing, and just observe the chatter, observe the noise, all the images that pass through your head, pass through your mind, rather. Look at it, observe it, let it go, embrace it. The pain you may feel in your neck or back or whatever. Feel it, embrace it, feel every part of it, examine every little part of it, because that's how you're going to examine your stage. And once you have a really firm grip of your stage, when it comes to perform in your daily life, which means deal with adversities, deal with your job, deal with people, your relationships, all the things you have to face the next day, you're going to come at it with a clear mind. You're going to come at it more peaceful. You're going to learn how to actually slow your heart down. Your heart's going to slow down because it's responding to your experiences, the experience of exercise, of eating right. All of this stuff creates this clear experience for you, you know? And it's going to help you. It's going to help you to become a better person. You're going to feel yourself more patient. You're going to be more alive. You're going to be more present. But look, it takes a little practice. But before you know it, you're going to be there. You're going to see improvement little by little. That's how it happened for me, too. And I continue to do it every day. I can't wait till around bedtime so I can get into my meditation time. That's when I get to, go back to my stage and look at the stage again and embrace my feelings again and my breathing and all of my sensations and get acquainted with that part of me, that immortal part of me that part that's limitless, you know? It's not hurt by anything. It's never changing. That I amness is the same I amness that I was when I was a little baby. I'm still that same awareness as almost a 60-year-old man. That same awareness, and just being acquainted with that gives you so much confidence, so much peace, because that's your anchor. Nothing can take that away from you. That's who you are, and nothing can hurt that part of you. And it goes on and on. It never stops existing. It's always being. It is the ground of being right there. And you can be acquainted with it just by closing your eyes and examine that stage. Look at that blue sky and become the blue sky itself. Try to stop the clouds, stop the thinking, stop the anxiety. Just be the blue sky for a little bit. And that will convince you that everything's okay. Everything's all right. You may not believe it intellectually, and that's fine. That's not what's really important. What's important is that you get acquainted with that concept. You get acquainted with that reality, because that's real. That core phenomenal consciousness that we can get in touch with is right there at all moments. And it is the stillness, it is your power, it's your immortality. It can never change, it can never come and go like your thoughts can. All your thoughts and anxieties, that's just monkey brain bullshit lying to you every day. It's just a big liar. The mind is so good at creating false narratives, imagining scenarios, remembering embarrassing moments, regrets, and it just adds to your stress. And you actually think that stuff is real. You actually make that real for you. And it's not real. They're just thoughts. They're just fleeting thoughts. But that I amness never goes away. It's right there in the background behind all those clouds, just right there for you. And you can get in touch with it. And it's good to get in touch with it every now and again. And if you have a hobby, something you like to do, get lost in it. If you get good at exercise and you like to run and work your thighs, get into that flow state. Get into running. Lose track of time. Lose yourself in anything. That's how you become into the flow state, and you become into that unity consciousness, as I call it. You're no longer into that dual world anymore. You're just singularly focused on something. You're in the zone, as they say in sports. And that's a wonderful, peaceful place to be. And I would encourage you to try to get there as much as possible, because it's going to re-energize you and refresh you. When it's time to perform on your stage, you're going to have the energy to perform well, because you're going to have a clear mind. You're going to be more measured, and you're going to actually execute like a professional, man, at anything you're doing. Dealing with anything, you're going to be very professional, very calm. And when you have a calm mind like that, you can deal with most anything. But it's when we're all frazzled and upset, that's when we can't focus. If somebody's always yelling at you and screaming at you while you're trying to figure out a problem, like, you got to get this right, you got to get this right, you got to get this right, you get it wrong every time because you're nervous, you're uptight, because your mind is in that mode of anxiety, and you can never focus. You can never get your head right. And you just act very, you know, I don't want to use the R word, but you get me. You act very discombobulated, put it that way, because you don't have your singular focus. The anxiety has you. So we have to kill that anxiety, and we have to retrain our mind. The thing about the brain, when we look at our brain, you can actually change the physical structure of your brain by experiencing new things. That's where experience, or that's where change emerges from experience, from doing things. So if you keep doing something enough, it becomes a habit, like riding a bike. Then you don't even have to think about it anymore. Imagine you being peaceful and you don't even have to think about it. You don't have to try to calm down. You don't have to try to talk yourself into not being anxious, or because that's never going to work anyways. You have to let your reptilian mind do the heavy lifting for you. That's what it's there for. That's what it does. It processes and it can be reprogrammed like a tape recorder. What you put in comes out, garbage in, garbage out. So start putting some good things into your subconscious mind and let it change you. Bruce Lipton, I would suggest looking up his work. He discovered epigenetics. And what he's learned is that, you know, by experiencing things, you can actually change your epigenetic traits. You could even pass them on, oddly enough. You can pass down epigenetic information through experience you experience through your life. So you can change your body, you can change your epigenetics, you can change your reality basically, because your reality is how you perceive it to be. You know, your subjective reality. You can change, you may not have direct control like we may think consciously through thinking, but you can change it over time by outsmarting yourself, you know. It's kind of like your unconscious or subconscious is like that elephant, you know. It's that big elephant and you're on top of it trying to, you know, tell it to go here, tell it to go there, and it doesn't really go anywhere. It's going to go where it wants to go, you know. But if you can train your elephant, you know, beforehand, it'll go exactly where you want it to go every time, you know, and it's a powerful thing. It's powerful, very powerful. You know, it processes so much information per second, unimaginable, than your conscious executive functioning brain does. Your executive functioning mind is terrible at doing math equations and things like that. But, you know, when it comes to like catching a fast softball that's coming at you at, you know, 30 miles an hour or something like that, you get enough practice, you can coordinate your movements before you're even aware of it. You're catching the ball. I used to do martial arts. And one thing about martial arts is you learn that your reflexes are everything. Like you can counter your opponent before he even thinks about what he's going to do. You can kind of like do that because your brain is doing the math. You know, you're not even thinking about it. It's already calculating. You're already in ready mode, you know. Your body is already there because your brain is already primed for anything that comes its way. Because you have enough experience that comes with experience. Experience is everything. That's consciousness. Consciousness is fundamental, man. It's everything you need to do anything, to change your reality. And I'm not just talking about, you know, ontology or metaphysics. I'm just talking about just a simple everyday experience. That's all I'm really talking about here today. We can get into metaphysics. I love talking about metaphysics and philosophy and all of that. That's great. But this is the real important thing right here. How to change your reality now. How to feel good now. How to be positive. How to be the person you want to be. So, anyways, I don't really have too much to add to that. I wanted to keep this to be a 30-minute video, and I appreciate your time. So, go out there, man, and conquer the world. Be the best you can be, and be still. Practice stillness. That's going to help you.